the men could do too. They would add more variety to the event also. And you'll see she gets a lot of lift, and when she twists, you'll see her pike her body in. She starts to twist, and she pikes her body in a little bit too soon, so she has to take that step back.
What kind of corrections, if you were her coach, would you tell her before she does her second vault?
I thought the vault was done quite well. I think if she just opens up a little bit sooner, doesn't pike in as much, she should be able to land it fine.
9-6, not a bad score for a first vault.
No, that's a good score, and it's a very difficult vault. It's the same vault that Mary Lou Retton used when she won the Olympic Games. And that was done much better. Tiny little hop. I think she'll be pleased with that.
You'll recall that Christophe Robert received a 9-3 for her vault. So Zheng Yongzi has already had better luck with her first vault, receiving the 9-6.
Yes, this is much better. Her form is very good. She gets a lot of lift. Nice crisp twist. And just a tiny little hop. Very, very good.
Wang Chongsheng is her teammate. He's competing on pommel horse. Peter Vidmar, Olympic gold medalist on pommel horse, and that to me is one of the 7 wonders of the world. Why would you put pommel horse first?
Well, pommel horse, it's considered one of the most difficult events, but if you know how to do it well, then you might as well do it first, and that's how Wang Chongsheng is, and Tim Daggett's very strong in this event too. He won the bronze medal in the Olympics. So they're both doing this event first, and he's performing really well. Very extended circles, traveling up and backwards across the horse. Beautiful flare to handstand, pirouette dismount. That should score very well.
Zhang Yingzhu, his teammate, received a 9-7 for her second vault. As you mentioned, it's a little bit better than the first, and that's a great start as we take another look.
Yeah, they're a good team. They're going to be right up there. Now here's a flare right up to a handstand, puts his hand in the middle, and does a little pirouette turn off for the dismount. It's very nice. This will be a nice shot from overhead. You see him going into the flare again. He goes right up to a handstand.
Shows the flexibility.
Oh, yes, it's incredible flexibility. He's a tall gymnast, too. Pirouetting out to his dismount. He should score very well.
He's 19 years of age. He studies at the Beijing Institute for Physical Education. He began gymnastics at the age of 13. Wang Chongsheng.
It's amazing how these Chinese gymnasts just come, new faces all the time, and they're all great gymnasts. They have so many gymnasts to choose from.
It seems to me the Oriental body type lends itself very well to gymnastics. And he received, as we are being told right now, a 9-7, so their combined total is 19.4. 19.4 for the team from China. And we will be back with competitors from the USA as well as other countries. But first, we're going to take a timeout.
Fixing this water.
Paris competition. This is Tracy Kalou. She is getting ready to vault. She and Tim Daggett are the team for the USA that's getting ready to compete. The team from China that you just saw before the commercial, they are in first place with their total of 19.4, and that puts the pressure on Tracy Kalou. She's 4'10". She's in 9th grade, 16 years of age. She started gymnastics at age 7. Tracy Kalou.
Tracy's a very powerful vaulter.
And a very popular one.
And that was a Sukahara with a full twist. She didn't quite have that explosive power that she needed, and she just put her hands down. That's going to be a deduction, and she's going to get one more chance. Let's take a look at this a little bit closer and find out why she didn't quite get the rotation she needed. She had some good twists. She may have spun just a little bit too soon and didn't quite initiate that lift and that rotation before the twist. And she had to pike down, and she put her hands down.
What about the legs apart? Of course, we have the luxury of the overhead angle. Did that slow her down at all?
Sure, it could have. Usually you tend to twist a little bit more crisply if you have your legs together. And we'll just see how she does in this next vault.
We're now ready for the second vault for Tracy Kalou.
She received a 9.05 for that first vault. She wants to improve on that.
Here she goes. And she did tuck Sukahara and stuck it cold. Well, she decided not to do the layout, and she did it tuck instead.
So that will get a better score. Her teammate is Tim Daggett. He was expected to win the American Cup. Unfortunately, he had to pull out. We spoke to him earlier about his injury to his ankle.
Well, at the American Cup last week, I kind of had an injury to my right leg, and it hurt a little bit and caused me to withdraw from the competition. But I think I'll be all right here. It's only 3 events, and going to take it a little easy. I'll do the 3 events that are best for me, and hopefully I won't have a problem.
And here is Tim Daggett, bronze medalist, as you mentioned, Peter, on the pommel horse. And certainly he shows events that don't really need much ankle work.
Tim has scored a 10 on this event many, many times, and he's working beautifully. He does a lot of work behind the back and on one pommel. There's a scissor with a half turn behind the back. And he's going to get ready for his dismount. He does a beautiful flare work. Hopping down to the end, hopping back up to the middle, and a flare right to a handstand. That was a beautiful
nice. Nice landing, too. And he held up his end of the bargain, and so did Tracy Calora. She received a 9-7 for her second vault, certainly a big improvement over the first, and Daggett will get a good score for that routine.
Yeah, I think they're both going to be pleased with this. They're going to move right into the next round, I think. We'll have to wait and see, though. Beautiful flare work, right up to a handstand for his dismount.
Nice distance, too, from the horse.
Now we see another angle. He hops down to the end of the horse, does a flare, and here he goes right up again to a handstand. Tim does flares so easily. He could just do his whole routine in flares if he needed.
Expression on his face makes a statement about that routine, too. Absolutely. He was happy. Now remember, the team from China, both the gymnasts received 9-7, so their combined total is 19-4. Tracy Calora has already received a 9-7, so if Tim Daggett can do better than 9-7, they'll move into first place as you look at Tracy Calora. She moves over to her teammate, Tim Daggett, and they're waiting for their numbers. And he received a 9.75, so the USA is in first place by 0.05 of a point with a 19.45 to China's 19.4. We will be back with more competition. We still have yet to see another USA team, and any gymnasts from the Soviet Union, don't go away. International mixed pairs, our standings partially through round 1 show the USA is on top, the team of Tracy Calora and Tim Daggett, followed by China, and then there's a tie in third place between Japan and Italy with 19.1. Right now, let's go to the Soviet Union, though. They are getting ready to compete. Irina Baraksanova is getting ready to vault, her first vault, while Alexei Tikhonki is standing by in the rings. Remember, Irina gets to do 2 vaults. This is her first one.
Irina is in the coveted top 6 of the Soviet team, so she's a phenomenal gymnast. And she did not quite have the meet that she wanted to have at the American Cup, so you can bet she's really going to be giving it her all right now.
She's 16 years old, 4 feet 7, 75 pounds.
Round off onto the horse, lay out Sukahara off. Boy, what a beautiful vault. Yeah, she scored very well.
Tracy Calora received a 9.7 for her vault. She wants to do better than that.
This is one of those newer vaults with a round off onto the board and then a back handspring onto the horse with a layout Sukahara off. It's very, very new. It was developed by the Soviets and she did it quite well.
It was developed by her teammate, oddly enough.
That's right.
And disallowed as being too difficult, too dangerous. But the women allow it.
And there it is, round off onto the horse, layout Sukahara off. Perfect form, beautiful landing. It's going to be hard to improve on that.
It's nice to have a strong first vault under your belt.
Sure
and
is.
you can be a little riskier on the second. She received a 9.7 for that vault.
Slow motion replay, and she will be ready to go with her next vault now. Once again, Irina Baraksanova.
I first saw this vault performed by Natalia Yurchenko of the Soviet Union in the World Cup in 1982, and it's really caught on. A lot of other gymnasts want to do this vault. It's very popular, very difficult though.
What makes it difficult? Trying to gauge where you land on
gauging where you
board?
land on the board and the horse. Well, then she does it with a full twist now. Landed perfectly too. Boy, that was beautiful.
It happens so fast between the board and the horse.
Here she is, doing it with a full twist. She tucks her knees in, does a full twist, and lands perfectly. That should score higher.
Her partner on still rings.
9.7 was her score for the first. We'll wait for her second score. And while we're waiting, let's take a look at Alexei Tikhonki. He is 25 years old. He is in college studying physical education.
Let's welcome.
And we have the score for Barasanova. She received a 9.8. So this team could take the lead with that 9.8 because Tikhonki is very strong on the rings.
I talked to him earlier, and he said that he enjoys parallel bars the most. It's the most fun to work out on. But the rings is always a very strong event. He pulls right to a cross and pulls out. He's extremely powerful. There's a forward roll, hollow back press to a handstand. giant to a handstand. It's very, very steady. And whip it to another cross. Look at how he presents himself. Very beautiful, very artistic gymnast. And he's going to set up for his dismount. Giant to a handstand. And a very high pike calf and F out. Beautiful landing. That's going to score well. That could put him right in the lead. And here's a neat angle for his dismount. There's a giant to his handstand. And now he's really got to get a lot of lift. He pulls way above the rings for that pike calf and F out.
He needs a 9.65 to help his team tie for the lead. A 9.7 would give the Soviet Union the lead over Daggett and Kalor.
I'm pretty sure he's going to get it too.
His teammate, Irina Baraksanova, received a 9.8 for her second vault.
No,
Took some of the pressure off of him, but I don't think he would have felt it anyway.
I think Alexei's pretty confident about their chances, though. He chose his best event, the horizontal bar, for the very end. I think he wants to finish on a great note.
They're talking now with their translator. Getting some advice as to how this competition works. This is such a unique format that the judges are somewhat baffled by it because this is never done after this or before this. It's the only meet of the year that is conducted in this manner, in which you only do 3 apparatus. The men's and women's scores combined. So it's an unusual situation. The score for Alexei Tikhonki made the team total 19.5, meaning he got a 9.7. So the Soviet Union has the lead. The USA is second, and we'll be back for first this.
30 miles.
In first, the USA is in second, but right now the gymnasts from Hungary want to change all that. Andrea Ladanye is about to compete on the uneven parallel bars. Once again, the gymnasts are allowed to choose which apparatus they want to compete on. She chose the uneven parallel bars. Her teammate has chosen the pommel horse. We'll get to him in a moment.
Andrea is another new face in women's gymnastics. The free hip half turn to a handstand. Another turn. Swings up to the handstand on the low bar. Kips through. Free hip circle. Giant to a handstand. Giant. And a comb each dismount. Doing very, very well.
Andrea Ladanye.
I don't know how well that's going to score because in difficulty it's not as high as some of the other routines we've seen today, but it was very, very clean. And here she puts one foot on the bar. This is a comb each dismount, front with a half. And she takes just a little hop.
Georgi Gutsogi is on the pommel horse. Another one who's chosen the pommel horse as his first apparatus.
And he should, because he's one of the best pommel horse workers in the world. He has a lot of original skills, a lot of Durhams, which is scissor sequence, and a flare, travel down flare, loop round up to a handstand. He's always been a medal winner in lots of major competitions on pommel horse. He's very, very strong. Now here's this flare. Travel down. Now he's going to set up for his dismount. There's a loop around, and he'll do a flare right up to a handstand. And his flares aren't quite as extended as the flares that you might see in the Chinese gymnasts or that you might see in Alexei Tikhonki's on pommel horse, but he still does it quite well.
Andrea Ladanye received a 9.4 on the uneven parallel bars. A perfect 10 for Gutsogi, her teammate, would give them 19.4, and that's good enough to tie for third at this point in the competition. And I don't think he's going to get a perfect 10 on that routine.
I don't think he'll get a 10. I talked to him a little earlier. I think he has a little bit of a cold. He pointed to his nose and was sniffling a little bit, so he looked a little tired at the end of the routine also.
So they're just hopeful they can squeak by. They'll have to be in the 19s, though, to make it to the finals. Only 6 will compete, in the second round. And that's what they're shooting for, the second round. If Gutsogi should advance, he would like to compete next on the rings. Ladanye would like to compete next on the balance beam. And it's nip and tuck right now whether or not these two will make it to that second apparatus. Our leaders, the Soviet Union with 19.5, second place the USA with 19.45, and then China's in third with a 19.4. So our top 3 spots are very, very close together. After that, a 19.1, there's a tie for fourth place between Japan and Italy. Right now, 19.0 is what's the cutoff for sixth place. 9.35 is the score for Butsogi, so he receives an 18.75 total. They will not make it to the next round. Very close, but not quite good enough. They had to